What's up guys, my name's Gamer360 Sports, giving you guys some analysis on the NCAA Football 14 demo featuring the Texas A&M Aggies and the Oregon Ducks. The demo just came out on June 18th, and if you haven't gotten it just yet, be sure to watch this video and see the pros and cons for this year's game. We're gonna start off with the pros, and if you are a hardcore NCAA football fan like myself, then it was pretty obvious that there were two big factors that affected the gameplay tremendously on offense and defense last year. The 4 vertical glitch and the offensive line play. Both of those have been fixed this year. We're going to start off with the offensive line. Last year they had jump the snap, clone offensive linemen, and predetermined sack programmed right into the game, which destroyed the running and passing games for many teams, including my Kentucky Wildcats. But this year, they finally improved it for the first time in years. The jump the snap feature is finally gone after years and years of hate, and both the offensive and defensive lines play pretty strong for the most part. You won't see the sack numbers rise to the top of the nation like last year in Dynasty mode, where they averaged 60 sacks allowed per season. This year, I only seen a couple of sacks in the demo. Last year's demo I saw 5, 6, maybe 7 for both sides combined. The linemen don't let go this year either, as all the sacks had a power or finesse move to get to the quarterback. If you think you can just let go and run towards the defender or run towards the player, you can't this year. I tried breaking away a couple of times for the offensive lineman like I usually do, and every single time I couldn't let go for much of the play. But anyway, the passing game has also been improved thanks to the offensive line play, as well as the fact that the 4 vertical / cover 3 / deep bomb glitch, whatever you want to call it, is gone. Because last year you could just lob it up and throw for 6 every single time you ran 4 verticals. This year, you can't do that. Every time you lob it up, it'll be a jump ball on defense. The defenders are able to get to the 4 vertical play and able to get to the wide receiver, unlike last year where they played aggressively on defense every time you ran 4 verticals, because the way the game was programmed. The hot routes have also changed, as there are more dynamic routes to choose from. For example, if you want to run a smart route, it goes and works like that. You now have block routes, you now have hitch routes, you now have option routes. You have all those options you have that are available in the original plays in every single playbook. Overall, the passing game has definitely improved. The audio in some aspects of the game, meanwhile, emphasis on some, has been improved. Take a listen to the referee audio.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Most people wouldn't notice this, but because I have experience with sound and audio equipment and broadcasting, I know this. It's not the same corny guy in the middle of a studio this year. This year, they added some effects to it. They got a new voice actor, and everything sounds great with a referee mic. This year, it sounds like it's actually the mic from the referee that he wears on his belt. Last year, it sounded like he was talking in the middle of a field through a microphone, like something you'd see in a concert. But the jersey, meanwhile, yeah, it looks like it's colored on, but more on that a bit later. But anyway, the player audio and PA announcers have also been improved with the player cannons and more effects to the PA. Overall, it adds a tiny little bit of effect and tiny little bit more feel to the playing style on the field. As for the run game, I did notice that they tried as hard as possible to make it a huge impact in this year's game, but it just missed the mark in my opinion, because even though there's the new stamina bar, the new moves, as well as the new hard cuts, it just didn't come up that much, because the hard cuts only show up when you turn 45 degrees or 90 degrees, like a very sharp corner, not when you're trying to turn just a tiny bit. So swerving can still happen in this year's game. As well, I noticed the stamina bar barely lowered for the most part, because after 20 yards, it was only halfway drained, and that was just with turbo. The moves do not lower it that much, and it automatically refills every play you do from scrimmage, which kinda blows up the point, you know what I mean? And also, the new moves rarely showed up. For the most part, it was mainly tackles and Infinity Engine. I didn't run the ball too much, so I didn't notice this. But Oregon ran the ball at least 20 times, so that's most of the clips you're going to be seeing. But anyway, lastly, the Infinity Engine is now in the franchise, and that was evident in some parts of the game. From game tackles to better animations, the Infinity Engine has helped improve the game big time. But we obviously have some cons, and big ones to say at least. The Infinity Engine is also the first turn down because there are still some glitches that came up in the demo that were in Madden 13. You can see on the clips that I'm showing right now that there are players colliding and sticking together for 2 seconds and then falling back, as well as animations where the runner is on his back and just runs off, which was common in Madden 13. Other glitch videos have also appeared all over the place, so it's more like Infinity Engine 1.5 at this point. The presentation in the demo was terrible from what they showed as well. The commentary was the exact same as last year, only hearing new lines twice. They removed the sideline reporter because Aaron Andrews is now with Fox. The touchdown graphics, labeled as new, have been used for the Heisman Challenge since NCAA 13 when that came out, which ticked me off, as well as the fact they came up to show unneeded cutscenes. As for those icons under the players, I'm in the club that hates them. If you picked up NCAA 13, not NCAA 13, NCAA 03 when it came out for the PS2 and compared it to this, that is what I thought of. The star almost looked like it was the exact same star from that game. The blue on top of it doesn't fit in, which makes me kinda, cringe every time I stare at it. And if you thought this game would be easy on Heisman like last year, easy peasy, easy touchdowns, easy rushes, easy defense, you're wrong. Because even though there's the new addition of the offensive and defensive difficulty settings, there are still more user fumbles, more interceptions, and tougher defensive coverage than last year. And the new ball hawking feature was alive and well in this year's game because almost every single player on Oregon rarely dropped an interception. You can compare this year's Heisman difficulty to All-Madden mode on Madden 12, not Madden 13, because in that game it was weaker. The settings are more difficult this year on Heisman. Lastly, no love for Canadians. The demo didn't release until a day after the US, causing Canadian fans to scramble to get US accounts on PSN and Xbox Live and new regions on their Xboxes. If you had a PS3, this took about 5 minutes. If you had Xbox Live, not so much. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of you for watching my analysis on the demo. Anything could change for this game, but I'm not counting on it because last year, many glitches were in the demo and none of them got fixed. This will be a good time to mention I'll be bringing back Coaching Carousel, my top series on the channel, as well as Road to Glory Ultimate Team and the Mountain West Conference Dynasty with Sam or Burns. Be sure to comment and like this video with all your feedback on the video as well as your impressions on this year's demo. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. It's good to be back.